Do you remember the last time you woke up with an erection so strong you had to wait a moment before getting out of bed? If that memory seems distant, or if you have noticed that things down there no longer work with the same predictability as before, I need you to stop everything and listen to me for the next few minutes. The pharmaceutical industry wants you to believe that the only solution to regain your virility is a blue pill. It costs a fortune and comes loaded with side effects. The truth is that your body's biology holds a much more potent solution. It is hidden in movements that Western medicine has ignored for decades. I am Dr. Richard Powell. For over 30 years as a urologist, I have treated thousands of men who came into my office with their heads bowed. They felt they had lost an essential part of who they are. They tell me they feel old. They feel ashamed of failing their partners. They think this is just an inevitable part of aging. But I am here, man to man, to tell you that this is a lie. Erectile dysfunction, loss of rigidity, and that feeling of physical disconnection are not caused by the number of candles on your birthday cake. They are caused by a mechanical and vascular blockage. We create this blockage ourselves through our modern lifestyle. Today, I will share something I discovered not in traditional medical textbooks. I found it by observing cultures with the greatest male longevity and virility in the world. There is a reason why 90-year-old men in Japan maintain testosterone levels and vascular function that would make many 50-year-old Americans envious. And no, it is not just genetics. It is not just sushi and green tea. Researchers discovered that the secret lies in 6 specific daily movements. When done correctly, these movements act as a natural pump for your vascular system. More importantly, they pump your pelvic floor. Stay with me because I will teach you a 6-step protocol. It can reverse years of circulatory stagnation. Best of all, one of these movements takes only 60 seconds. It has the power to unlock blood flow to the pelvic region almost instantly. If you are over 55 and want to regain bedroom confidence without relying on pharmacies, this video is for you. Before we dive in, I want you to make a commitment to yourself right now. Write your name in the comments and say, "I am ready to take back control." Let us begin. Let us talk about number 6, what I like to call the Vascular Pump Walk. You have probably heard that walking is good for your heart. However, what no one has told you is how wrong walking can do absolutely nothing for your erection. In Japan, there is a practice called Sampo. Forget the idea of fast walking to burn calories. This is not about sweating. This is about fluid mechanics. When you walk in the Sampo style, you cut your speed in half. You breathe in a very specific rhythmic pattern. Inhale for 2 steps, hold for 2 steps, and exhale for 4 steps. Why does this matter for your penis? Because an erection is fundamentally a hydraulic event. You need nitric oxide to relax blood vessels. This allows the blood to rush in. This type of slow, rhythmic walk uses a heel-to-toe roll. It activates every small foot and calf muscle. This motion works like a secondary pump. The calves are often called the second heart. This is because they are responsible for pumping venous blood back upward. When you do this with intention and slowness, you maximize venous return and the oxygenation of the blood circulating in your pelvis. One study showed that this practice reduces arterial stiffness by over 60%. Stiff arteries are the death of the erection. If the plumbing is rusty and stiff, the blood does not arrive with enough pressure to maintain rigidity. By practicing this mindful walking, you are literally softening your arteries. You are preparing the ground for explosive blood flow when you need it. Moving on to number 5. We have a ritual that redefines your morning hormones. In Japan, this is called radio taiso. Every day, millions of people perform rhythmic, gentle movements first thing in the morning. Let me explain the urological science behind this. Most men in the United States wake up and immediately check their phones, watch the news, or stress about work. This fires up cortisol. I need you to understand this. Cortisol is the killer of testosterone. Chemically, your body prioritizes survival over reproduction. If cortisol is high, testosterone drops, and libido disappears. Radiotyso is not intense exercise. It involves continuous flow movements like arm circles and waist bends. The movements look like a gentle dance. When you do this for 3 minutes right after waking up, you signal to your parasympathetic nervous system that you are safe. You reduce cortisol and allow testosterone to flow. Additionally, these movements lubricate the joints and stimulate synovial fluid. However, the sexual benefit comes from the deep relaxation of the nervous system. You cannot have a quality erection if your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight mode. This morning ritual puts you in rest and digest mode. That is the only state where deep sexual arousal can occur. It is like rebooting your computer before trying to open a heavy program. If you do not perform this reset, the system crashes. Now let us turn to number 4. I want you to pay close attention here. This may be the missing link you have been looking for. We are talking about the deep rest squat. If you look at a small child, they can squat and play for hours. If you look at an elderly person in Japan, they rest in this position. But here in the West, we have lost the ability to squat. We pay the price with our prostate and erectile health. Think about the anatomy. When you sit in a chair, as we do all day, you are putting all your body weight on your sight bones. You are compressing the perineum. The perineum is the area between the scrotum and the anus. It is the superhighway of nerves and blood vessels that feed your penis. By sitting in chairs all day, you are essentially stepping on the garden hose. Flow slows down, nerves become numb, and the pelvic floor muscles become paradoxically tight and weak simultaneously. The deep squat, with your heels on the ground, opens the pelvis. It stretches the chronically contracted pelvic floor muscles. To maintain an erection, you need a mechanism called veno-occlusion. This means blood must enter quickly, and then the muscles must trap that blood inside. If your pelvic floor is too tight or too weak, it cannot close the valve. Blood rushes in, you get a semi-erection, and then the blood leaks back out. You lose rigidity. The deep squat rehabilitates this musculature. Start by holding onto a door or a sturdy chair. Go down as far as you can. If your heels lift, place a rolled towel under them. The goal is to relax into this position for 1 or 2 minutes. You will feel an opening in your hips and the base of your spine. This feeling is blood circulating freely again through areas that were strangled by the chair. Men who can maintain this position have healthier prostates and longer-lasting erections. They restore the natural mechanics of the pelvis. We have reached number 3, and this may seem strange at first glance. However, the science is undeniable. Unilateral balance, or standing on one leg. You might be thinking, Dr. Powell, what does my balance have to do with my erection? The answer is everything. An erection starts in the brain and runs down the spinal cord to the pudendal nerves. It is a complex neurological process. The ability to stand on one leg is a direct indicator of your brain health. It reflects the integrity of your peripheral nerves. The brain's microvasculature is very similar to the penis's microvasculature. If you have balance problems, it suggests that the small blood vessels in your brain may be suffering silent damage. This means the small vessels in your penis are likely suffering too. It is the canary in the coal mine. Furthermore, to balance on one leg, you must activate the deep, stabilizing muscles of your core and pelvis. These are the same muscles that support the erection. Practice this for 1 minute, twice a day, while brushing your teeth. This forces your brain to recalibrate these nervous connections. You are training the nervous system to send clear, strong signals to the center of your body. The better the nerve signal, the faster and firmer the erectile response. Do not underestimate the power of reconnecting the brain to the pelvis. Number 2 is the ultimate vitality test: floor transitions. In Japan, people live on the floor. They eat, talk, and watch TV sitting on a tatami mat. This means they get up and sit down dozens of times a day. For a man over 55 in the United States, this may seem like a nightmare, but it is a nightmare we need to face. The act of getting down to the floor and getting up again without using your hands or using minimal support requires explosive leg strength. It demands intense vascular coordination. When you stand up from the floor, your heart must work hard to pump blood against gravity to the brain and extremities. This positive cardiovascular stress keeps the blood vessels elastic and responsive. Remember, erectile dysfunction is often the first sign of cardiovascular disease. If you cannot efficiently pump blood to get up from the floor, you will have trouble pumping blood to fill the corpora cavernosa of the penis on demand. Practicing getting up and sitting down, even if you start with help, trains your cardiovascular system to handle sudden changes in demand. Think of it as high-intensity interval training, but in slow motion and safely. You are building a bulletproof heart and vascular system. Finally, number 1. This may seem like the simplest movement, but it has a profound effect on your spine and the nerves that control your sexual function. The towel twist. Most men do not realize that the penis's innervation comes out of the lower spine, specifically the sacral and lumbar vertebrae. If you have chronic back stiffness, if your spine is locked, you are literally pinching the electrical wires that command the erection. This Japanese movement uses a towel held taut at shoulder height. You maintain tension on the towel as if you want to rip it. Then, you slowly rotate your torso from side to side, keeping your hips facing forward. This twist under tension creates decompression in the spinal column. It also activates the oblique muscles. By releasing tension in the thoracic and lumbar spine, you clear the path for nerve signals to travel from the brain to the penis. I have seen patients treated for back pain whose erectile dysfunction miraculously improved. It is not a miracle. It is anatomy. Free nerves mean strong signals. Strong signals mean fast erections. Practice this twist for 2 minutes before bed. Besides helping your spine, it helps relax the body for restorative sleep. This is when your testosterone is replenished. I know this might seem like a lot of information at once, and I know you might be skeptical. You have been conditioned to believe that the solution to everything comes in an orange bottle from the pharmacy. But I am telling you this as a doctor who has seen the side effects of those pills. I have also seen the frustration of men who depend on them. They are a bandage. What we are discussing here is curing the foundation. This is not about becoming an Olympic athlete. It is about reclaiming basic male functionality. If you have avoided intimacy because you are afraid it will not work, know this: the fault is not yours, but the responsibility to fix it is. Your body is an incredible machine. It is capable of regenerating and readapting at any age, provided you give it the right stimuli. These Japanese movements are not magical because they are exotic. They are effective because they respect human biology. They combat the sedentary lifestyle, poor posture, and stress that destroy modern virility. Start slow. Maybe today you just try the wall-supported deep squat. Maybe tomorrow you try the slow walk. The important thing is to start moving the stagnant energy in your pelvis. I want to propose a challenge. Choose just one of these movements. Choose the one that seemed most difficult or the one that caught your attention. Commit to doing it every day for 1 week. Just 1 minute. Observe how you feel. Notice if you wake up with a little more energy. Observe if that heavy feeling in your groin starts to decrease. Masculinity has no expiration date. You do not have to accept decline as a sentence. You have the tools, you have the knowledge, and now you have the path. The question is, will you take the first step? I would love to know which of these movements you will test first. Leave it in the comments. I read the responses and try to help whenever possible. My mission is to see you regain your vitality. One last important thing. Safety first. If you feel sharp pain, stop. Muscle discomfort is normal. Joint pain is not. Talk to your doctor if you have any concerns. But do not use that as an excuse to do nothing. Movement is life. Stagnation is the end. Choose life. Choose virility. Until next time, my friend. The Alpha Senior.